Hiya, it's me, Nicole Phoenix Star, and this is a Nick Star podcast. So, I have had a very fascinating time. Why am I talking so slow? This week because I've been deep in the house sitting life, and I put up a post saying that I was available for some house sitting dates, and I got quite a few people reaching out, which was wonderful and fun. Um, and I also got a little feedback from the house that I'm sitting now. And one of the comments was that I'd been pouring love into their home. And I was like, that's exactly what I've been doing. It was such a revelation because, I've moved around a lot and lived in lots of places for short amount of time, and I always kind of make it my own little flavored sanctuary for the time I'm there. And I've had a lot of practice of it, and I recognize that that is seen as pouring love into a place, into a home. And I certainly have been doing it here, and I love random deep cleaning. People find it funny how I like getting things in order and optimizing drawers and cupboards. And I don't do that everywhere, but sometimes I do. And I certainly have here. And because I've been given free reign, do whatever you like. You can give it the next star kiss of beauty, because one of my highest values is beauty. And that's not in, beauty as in looking beautiful. It's in aesthetics, and I don't know, all the things in this house I've just kind of zhuzhed, moved around into more complementary areas, and um I realize now that it is a form of pouring love into a building, into a home, into a space. And it's been a wild deep dive into what that actually is. And I suppose, over time I've created sacred spaces, and that's kind of rippled out into all sorts of things, because I see where I'm, spending my time and my energy and sleeping and having my family as a sacred space. And so I turn anywhere and everything into a sacred space. Like whenever I go to a hotel room, I always unpack everything. And most of the time I stay somewhere, for 2, 3 nights. Yeah, one night I don't, but most places I intentionally stay for 3 nights, and I unpack all my stuff and hang up all my clothes and set up my little things and really create a beautiful space for me to be in for those 3 days. And it takes 5 minutes to unpack and 5 minutes to back down. And you're not stepping over suitcases and you're not rummaging through things. And it's just a form of self-love and pouring love into each moment. And I always connect with the energy of a place, and it really becomes like an experience of a living entity. And I knew that this place that I'm staying at the moment has been a really beautiful healing space for its owners. And, it's in a very big, spacious, leafy um, hilltop neighborhood surrounded by trees. Like there's even like a micro forest corner in a part of it. I would say that I'm not very good with measurements, but it's at least half an acre, the block of land. So it's quite spacious. Um, but yeah, like I don't know, the energy's really alive here, and it's been so interesting because I've been looking at like the wraps, wax paper wrap in the pantry, which I used to have when I was in Canada, and I'd wrap my fruit and vegetables and different things in waxed paper, like it's a kind of eco thing. And I love them. And I found them the other day. And last night I wrapped up actually some bread that had a bag over it that was like perforated, that had little holes in it because it was a sourdough, it needs to breathe, but you have to put them in the fridge. Otherwise, they go off really fast in this weather. And I wrapped it like a present, and I just was like, oh my gosh, I am so in love with this moment. And yeah, just, I don't know, all these little pieces of my life and different locations and different eras, having them sort of smooshed together, it just feels so abundant and yummy. And I don't know, it feels like this kind of pouring love in, receiving love, pouring love out, receiving love in, rather. Um, yeah, I just had this awareness of what it is to pour love into a place rather than just keeping a house clean and tidy or ordered or not. Um, and how it is a form of experiencing love. And I was just like, wow, there's times I've kind of wondered around my orderedness and tidiness and whether that was just, like something, and whether at times it was necessary, and whether it was just kind of even conditioned from my mother, who always has her house tidy, but she has another, like a different experience. And I can recognize that now. Um, because it's not about having like a picture perfect house all the time. It's about an experience of love. And I'm just like, whoa, my phone fell off my lap. For someone to witness it as that, and, at first she was like, why are you doing all this? You don't have to. And I went, no, I know I don't have to. I want to. I get so much joy out of, tending to things and nurturing beings. And yeah, it's a whole different way of looking at things. And it's the most resonant experience I've had to how because it made me think a lot. I'm like, do I like things a certain way now because I've had, live in staff for the last decade, having housekeepers and nannies and drivers and cooks and things like that. And I was like, when I moved back to Australia, I loved that I got to do all the housework and I got to get in and it's people like, what? But I realize it's pouring my love into the place where you spend so much time, especially because I have worked from home. Um, I worked from home for like the last 20 years. And so, you know, it's where I spend most of my time. And especially when you're mothering for just as long and spend so much time and feeling the beauty of that. And rather than just going to a resort or going some beautiful hotel or some beautiful Airbnb or some beautiful, exotic location. It's really funny when last house people would come in and go, oh my God, it's got such Bali vibes here. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, it's a super modern new house with not a coconut tree anywhere. Like, what are you talking about? And I realized it was, I don't know, the newer kind of villas in Bali that are all kind of finished and have matching decor and stuff like that. That's what they were. And because you could see the pool out the window and it had like pool furniture and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, realizing that that's what I've done always with food too. Like, I don't make dinner. I pour love into ingredients for me, always, and anyone else I'm making food for. And how we can experience life as that. I remember when I lived in Canada and I had like a laundry room in the basement. It was so fun because I felt like I was living in a movie. And so I'd go down the basement to the laundry room where these two massive big machines were, a big washing machine, a big dryer and a big bench. And it was near the furnace and it was all warm where you could like dry things. And I remember I hadn't done laundry for 1,000 years because I, if I, all our clothes used to go to the laundry. And when we did eventually get a house with a washing machine, I had a full-time house staff that cleaned and did all the laundry and everything. So I hadn't done laundry since I moved from Australia in 2011. And I remember pulling out the little clothes because Leo was 4 at the time and all these clothes, and I would fold them up and I would pour love into their clothes. And like when I would put my hand across like the arms or something to fold them in and then put them back, like sometimes I'd like even kiss them. And so every time they put on their clothes, they got like a hug from Mama. And it was just like, I don't know. I just love that experience. And I didn't do I don't like, they wouldn't even know. Like, I didn't tell them I was drawing it or anything, and I just knew would see them in their clothes, and I'm like, I filled their clothes with love and kisses, and when they put them on and they're walking around with that, and I just, like, would giggle and smile at myself, and I'm like, "Oh, laundry's so much fun." Mm, yes, that's how my mind works, and yeah, why not? This is how I have always found a richness in life and experienced joy in each moment because simply showing up to each moment and each goddamn boring household task can be pure joy, and obviously I don't tiptoe and skip through my house and go, woohoo, I get to wash up again for the 7,000th time today. Um, and I'm feeling like that. All day last night, I was like, oh my God, the last thing feel like doing is doing is washing up. I might just leave a couple of things in the sink and finish it tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, okay, I might do that. And then I was like, you're nearly finished, and future you doesn't have to do it tomorrow, and you've just done it for her. And I went, oh, and now it's finished. You're a funny one, Nicole. Mm. Anyway, that's for sure that I have today on the Next Star podcast. So, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you so much. Okay. Please, boop, boop, boop. Please feel free to share with anyone that you may feel would like to listen to what I have to say today. My website is www.nickstar.com, Niksta. Much love. Mwah.